So, what are we going to talk about today? Our affirmation for today, day 7, is the future can be better than the past. Always, 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 always. The future can be better than the past. The past has nothing to do with the future. Absolutely nothing. Because if we remind ourselves that the only reason we got what we got in the past is because of the way we were vibrating, and so all we have to do is to change the way we are vibrating now, which is going to completely change what happens next in the future. So, changing the future is not a difficult thing to do. But if you keep bringing the past into the future, then the future cannot change. We bring the past into the future because we keep thinking about what happened in the past, and we have this fear inside us, a fear that says, oh my God, what if this happens to me again? Or I did this and I hope things don't go wrong because of it, because there's this thing, it's going to come and bite me in the butt, right? So that fear is what we are taking into the future, and the future is going to respond to that vibration of fear, that vibration of doubt and worry. So if we change our vibration in our now, that is why our now reality, this moment that we are in just now, that's why this moment is so important. Because in this moment, we can do something to change the way we are vibrating. We can't change the past. We cannot change the past. But we can look at the past differently. You see, when you're going through a bad patch, you say, oh my God, things are horrible for me. And then when you get to the future and things turn out all right, you look back and you say, if that hadn't happened to me, I wouldn't be where I am. So things are always working out for us, and the future can always, always, always be better than the past. We just have to remind ourselves. It's that reminder that we have to give ourselves that says, stop thinking about the past. Now, this is where I teach the structure or the paradigm of the 6 thinking choices. Because in any moment in time, in our now reality, we only have 6 choices as to how we're going to think our thoughts. So we can go future positive with things like the future can be better than the past. Things are always working out for me. I'm expecting good things to happen for me in the future. We can go now positive. Even if we are standing in a place where something bad is happening to us, maybe it has something to do with your health, maybe it has something to do with a relationship or money, it doesn't matter what that thing is. But if you're standing here and life does not feel good, all you have to do in order to go now positive is to look outside your window. Look at nature and appreciate nature. Because we can always find something in nature that feels good. And when we do that, we are not changing this now moment, although we are. We are changing this moment because we feel better in this moment when we do that, when we meditate or appreciate. But more than that, what is happening is we're creating something good for us in the future. Third is going past positive. We can go past positive. Even if my now reality is something that I do not like, but good things have happened for me in the past. This happened and this happened and this happened that made me so happy. It was good. I've had some really good times in the past. So those are the 3 positive thinking choices. And similar to those 3 positive choices, we also have 3 negative thinking choices. Meaning we can go future negative. Nothing is going to work. My situation is hopeless. Nothing is going to work. That's a very negative vibration. Or you stand here and instead of finding something to appreciate in your now moment, You look at your now moment and you say, why am I here? This is horrible. And I feel powerless in this moment. See, that's the thing that we need to change, our powerlessness. We need to tell ourselves, I am powerful. I do have access to the resources of the universe. Granted, change will happen, and it will happen slowly, but it will happen. And that's when we say things like, there's light at the end of the tunnel. This too shall pass. All of those things are supposed to soothe our angst and help us to focus on the fact that things can change and can become better. So in our now moment, if we're feeling negative, what we're doing is we're perpetuating this moment into the future. We are replicating it. A replica of this moment will meet us in the future if we don't do something to shift even just a little bit of a shift towards a better feeling vibration. Or we could go past negative. Things have never worked for me. Nothing I do ever turns out all right. That's going past negative, because there's no one who cannot find something positive when they look for it, right? You can go backwards in time and appreciate a friend that you met, or even a stranger that opened the door for you or made you feel good in some way. And so this is one of the reasons why I suggest keeping a journal. When something hits the mark here in your heart, when something makes you feel good, when you see synchronicity in the way things are happening, make a note of that. Because so much happens in our lives in a day, in a week, that we tend to forget those moments when life really felt good. And just like the news channels, we have this tendency of remembering the negative more than we do the positive. This happened, oh my God, I had this wonderful meal. Tell everyone about it. I made this amazing thing. It was such a fantastic meal. Appreciate it. Share that. Instead of sharing with a friend, oh, gossip about that person and what happened there. And these days, people talking to each other about coronavirus, just like we used to talk about the weather. Oh, hello, how are you? Isn't it a lovely day? Oh, hello, how are you? Is everything okay? Anyone with coronavirus in your family? See? And what people don't realize is, if you focus on it that way, you are perpetuating it. You are replicating. You're creating a replica of it in the future. Right? So whatever is negative, it doesn't matter how many people are talking about it, how big it is in the world. We have to find a way not to focus there, because we want to contribute not only to our own well-being, first of all, our own well-being, but then we want to contribute to the well-being of the people that we care about, and then our community, and the country where we live, and just this whole world, because the world is such a small place, isn't it? The internet, all the travel facilities that we have has made the world a really small place. Everything is connected to each other, right? Everything, everyone is connected. Children in North America are connected to children in China, because we have this wonderful thing called the internet. And I love how just now, I think the internet has brought families together, because families are reaching out to each other over the internet and having conversations. Friends, my children, they're with their friends all day. They're spending more time with their friends, because in the past, they would meet their friends maybe after school, but now they're spending all day with their friends. So, internet is actually bringing people closer together. And remember how there were so many people in the past who pushed back against the internet. They said this internet thing is making our children withdraw. They are not interacting. And now it's the reverse. We are all interacting through the internet. So what we put into our vortices as a nation, as people of this world, is that we wanted our children to be more communicative. And we got what we wanted. Our children are communicating a lot more just now. So things can always work out in the future, provided we think that they do, provided we change our belief system. And a belief is just a thought. If you get used to thinking in terms of the 3 negative thinking choices, what happens is those 3 negative thinking choices control what happens in your reality. And then you look at it and you say, oh, that was true. I thought that that was true and that is true. But it's the fact that you thought it was true that made it true. And so if you change that little thing, everything else changes. The future changes. The future is bendable. You are powerful. You are unlimited. You can have, be, or do anything that you want. And that is what we need to remind ourselves of. We can have, be, or do anything that we want. I can tell you, so this came to me from a teacher who was not a law of attraction teacher. In fact, he was a teacher, my teacher in finance. And his words were, still resonate with me. His words were, I don't know how things are going to turn out all right, but I know things are going to turn out all right. Isn't that wonderful? Aren't those amazing words? I don't know how it's going to turn out all right. I have no idea how this is going to work. I just know it's going to turn out all right. I just know I'm going to be okay. That is trust. And when something happens that opposes that trust, when a thought comes to your mind that feels like, oh, things are not working for me, you just have to stop in that moment and give yourself a reminder. I don't know how things are going to work out. I don't know how this will change, but I just know that the universe has my back, that things will work out for me, that I am going to be looked after. Everything is going to be all right. See? And this is what I say again and again, is that when we were younger, we had people who would tell us that. And I think with a partnership, with spouses, with your significant other, whoever that is, I think that's what we do for each other. When one of us goes down the emotional scale, the other one has to come up and say, it's going to be all right. Don't worry. It's going to be fine. Things are going to work out the way you want them to, and maybe even better. And I think that there are 2 things of value in a relationship. One is this support, that when one goes down the emotional scale, the other one can offer that kind of support. And the other one is to multiply the joy that we can feel together. So I could watch this movie alone tonight, and I would enjoy it. But having my children there with me last night as we watched a movie together magnified that pleasure of watching that movie. I could watch it alone. You could watch something alone or with your significant other, and what the other is bringing is that magnification of the joy. So that is the only thing that we need from anyone else, whether it's a friend, a child, a brother, sister, or a parent or a friend. That's all we need. Other than that, we are self-sufficient. We are self-sufficient because we are the creators of our own reality. We are the creators of what will happen to us in the future. And so we can always make the future better and better and better. There is no limit to how much better it can be, because the better it gets, the better it gets. The better, even if you make a tiny little bit of a shift and just one little thing changes, it makes you realize how powerful you are. And when you realize how powerful you are, you become even more powerful. Isn't that wonderful?